Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Parag, Jhaveri, Chairman and Managing Director at Yasho Industries joining in. Welcome to the show, Parag, and it's a pleasure to speak to you. Overall, if you see in terms of what's happening with COVID from March to now, at least in terms of the domestic markets are concerned, and probably an impact way before March in the international markets, none of the sectors, none of the economies that have been left untouched. If you could just help us understand for a sector like yours, where dealing with specialty chemicals, antioxidants, aroma chemicals, lubricant additives, etc., how has the COVID impact been? Because yes, there are some sectors which have seen a positive impact as well.
Well, you said that we are working, we are working into the multiple segments, and that has helped us a lot in quarter one. The food and the aroma segment has really driven the quarter one, particularly in month of April and May. Being an essential commodity, we could really do much better than what we have anticipated. Our quarter one results are within the line. We top line did not grow, but the bottom line has improved a lot. Even our EBITDA has improved a lot on that. Uh, since July, our rest of the business has started quite well. That's the rubber industry, specialty, and also the lubricant part of it. As long as an exports are concerned, has also given a growth because of exports. We have a good presence in export market, so our export has increased by almost by 10% in that quarter particularly.
Okay. Right. So when you're saying right now that the top line has remained flat in the first quarter. However, we've seen an improvement operationally and in terms of the bottom line. So what is it that has led to this kind of an improvement? Is it that we have taken cost cutting initiatives, optimization of costs on the back of COVID? Is that one of the reasons why we've seen an improvement operationally?
Uh, well, in this situation, one cannot do too much of cost cutting because the chemical plant has to run at a certain capacity. Otherwise, the cost goes up. What we see is the little softening of the raw material price, and when you have also the better raw material management has helped us to improve the bottom line here.
Okay. And overall, if you see in terms of since COVID hit to now, if you could just help us understand which of the segments of business have done really well. I mean, I understood in terms of where food commodities was something which was on the positive on the back of it being an essential commodity. However, are you seeing that revenue mix change between the different segments of business from here on?
What we saw in quarter one was yes, there was a little change in the business revenue. That is, food and aroma has given us a better revenue. But going down the road, I don't think so that will continue. What we see here is a more of once the industrial activity pick up, we will see the change back to the industrial will do the outperform the food and the aroma.
Right. And overall as well, Parag, if you have to look at how business has been panning out right now, what has been the impact in terms of our operations go? Once we hit the lockdown in the last week of March, what was the lowest capacity utilization that we achieved at all our plants on a blended basis, and how has that improved right now?
Honestly, we haven't dipped too much into the capacity utilization compared to the last year. Last year, we did about 70% utilization as an overall capacity.
Mm.
And quarter one was bad because, the more than 1 month the plant was shut.
Correct.
Okay. So yes, that time the capacity was less, but now in next last 3 months we are back, and we hope to surpass the last year capacity utilization. So for the this quarter we should do the more than 75% utilization, mainly because of the increased demand in the local segment, and also the we are seeing the more opportunity in a global market.
Right. And then, if you talk about global markets, is one of the reasons being that a lot of other geographies are shifting production from China to, say, probably India as one of the destinations. Is that one of the reasons why we are seeing an increased demand with regards to exports?
No, I think okay, we have a major exports to the USA and USA Europe market. There we see the significant shift. They give a preference to the non-Chinese suppliers,
Hmm.
and we are seeing a more opportunity to grow in that part of the world more and more.
Hmm.
Also, we see that the lot of Asian countries are coming back slowly but
Okay.
steadily. There also the demand is picking up, and that is helping us to grow the market.
Right. And overall as well, if you talk about exports, it's almost 56% of your revenues. The remainder is domestic markets. Are we seeing a trend where the exports are performing way better versus the domestic markets right now?
Yes, definitely. Still, if you look at the local market, is not 100% open up. Vis-a-vis the global market has opened up way back, and the demand is picking up. So we definitely see the better exports than the domestic sales.
Hmm. Okay. So are we expected to see a higher share of exports in FY 21 and 22? So, I mean, from 56, do we see it jumping to say 60, 65, or do you think this kind of number will remain right now?
No, I think we definitely see a jump in share of exports to about 65% plus minus somewhere.
Hmm. Okay. And in terms of the impact, if our exports jump to almost 60, 65% of our total revenues, what is the impact that we could see in terms of the profitability and the margins?
Okay, last year what we had as an EBIT of about 14%. Quarter one we have improved to 15, 15 and a half. And if all goes well, we should see about further 1% upward on that EBITDA.
Right. And
So
with
we
this,
should have about 16 and a half, 17.
right. And overall, in terms of the geographical mix as well, US, Iran, Australia, South Africa, some countries in South America, Europe, and Asia is what we already deal with. Are we looking to add any more geographies, or do we see a change in geographical mix as well?
I don't. Okay, we are adding month on month or quarter on quarter new customers base, but the geographical graph will remain the almost same. We do
Hmm.
see some opening into the Russian market, which is tough to get in, but otherwise the geography where we are working, we are strengthening our position and we are growing.
Right. And currently as well, if you see in terms of our capacity is concerned, uh, overall FY 20 we did a revenue of almost around 300 odd crores. What's the number looking like in terms of FY 21 and 22? What's your target in terms of top line?
Well, in the month of June, we have predicted the same numbers that we should do the same thing. But looking at this quarter number, we should definitely do much better. We should improvise on a 10% at least on what we did last year. But still, it is a little, lots of uncertainties going on. We hear a
Hmm.
lot of places, the lockdowns are coming back again,
Correct.
in many countries. So let's not be too much optimistic here. Be realistic. So we should be in the range of 300 to 325.
Right. And with this as well, if we're looking to grow at say 10, 12% as well on, at least a base basis, Do we have the capacity right now for the next 2 to 3 years, or do you think we will have to add capacity to see good growth, taking into consideration that we are seeing a lot of export business that is coming to us?
Okay, good one. See, the last year we did the capacity expansion. We have increased some capacity on our rubber side, lubricant and specialty chemistry side. 2019. Also by the March 20, we also put some more additional capacity. So I think we are good as of now. We are looking at the market, how it will evolve. Uh, and we will take a decision in the beginning of 21 whether we should go for further expansion or not.
Right. And on the back of COVID, are we seeing any supply side, supply chain constraints still? And if yes, do we see an added cost on that front? And secondly, even on the employee front as well, taking social distancing rules into consideration, etc., are we seeing any higher costs coming in right now?
As long as supply is concerned, no, supply has been streamlined. There was an issue in Q1 when the lot of import and export shipments has been affected. Also, the logistic issue was plenty, but that has been resolved by and large, I can say, since June, mid of June. Those started getting resolved more and more. As regard to the COVID cost, yes, that has definitely increased, but that is not an too much. So the minor cost. You have to stagger the lunch hours, stagger the tea times with the workers. You need to provide more sanitization stuff in the plant. Those are the additional costs. You have to provide the transportation to the employee whom you are bringing to your plants and the offices. But that's not a significant cost which will hamper the bottom line of the company. But but by doing this, we are giving a confidence to employees that we are taking care of them, and in turn, we get the better, the working from them.
Correct. And with this as well, when we talk about added costs, etc., how are you seeing FY21 to pan out? Do you think, in terms of the bottom line as well, we will be able to maintain what we saw in the previous years in terms of growth?
I think bottom line will be strengthened further. Yasho also has a lot of reach registration, which is helping us to grow market in the European continent, and that is also adding into the bottom line of the company. And the reach is also helping to grow in many other geography where customers are supplying to the European market. So that is an added advantage, and that's also helping to an extent to improve the bottom line.
Right. And in terms of where different segments of business go, if we talk about specialty chemicals, food, antioxidants, aroma chemicals, etc., what is the revenue share? Which segment contributes the maximum to business right now?
Well, as long as top line is concerned, the food and aroma is almost 50%, and balance 50 comes from the rubber, lube, and specialty. So when you talk about the bottom line, definitely the industrial segment gives a much better bottom line.
Okay. So then are we planning to even increase business on the industrial front versus the other side so that improves our profitability and the operational leverage?
Absolutely. In last year, what we have done expansion is purely into the segment of industrial side, that is rubber, lube, and specialty. We did not expanded our capacity on food and the aroma chemicals. So we see the future of Yasho into the industrial segment more and more, and also some of the aroma product which goes to the specialty segment is driving the growth for the company.
Right. And any debt on the books that we have right now?
Well, we already have debt on the books. We have no plan further to infuse more capital. I think we are relatively able to service the debt, and financial conditions of companies are in the sound.
Right. So, Parag, overall, if you have to look at further capacity expansion, say down 2-3 years down the line, then will we look at fundraising?
Yes, definitely. At that time, we'll look at the options what we have. But by that time, company also should have a reasonable reserve year on year.
Right.
So, that should help us.
Right. And very lastly, with regards to where the cash flow cycle goes in a business like yours, it's more of a B2B business. At least in times of COVID, what we've realized is B2C businesses have seen a very improved credit cycle. The cash flows have improved for them as well. What's the scenario looking like in an industry like yours?
No, in case of B2B, the cycle has been increased. So where we were giving a 30 days credit, where there we will be 60 and 60 become 90.
Correct. So
So
how
we have to extend our.
right?
Well, here to some extent we got a cushion from a supplier who also extended a little bit of credit line, and the bank has definitely helped us a lot in this time.
Right. So, I mean, we are not seeing, I mean, the cash flow cycle, in fact, has worsened for B2B industries as well. Absolutely. So, I think B2C, which is really doing well in terms of the cash flow. And very lastly, what would be a 5-year vision or mission of the company right now, Parag?
Okay, where today we are not a significant force into rubber, lubricant, and specialty segment. Definitely down the line, 5 years, company will be one of the key players in specialty segment of an antioxidant like lubricants, rubber, and part of the performance chemistry globally. We current capacity is about 9,000 metric ton. Down the line, 5 years, we should be somewhere about 40 to 50,000 metric ton capacity plant.
Right. So that's going to be the growth plan that we should be looking forward to as well. Thank you so much, Parag, for joining us on the show. It was a pleasure to speak to you and know more insights about the company as well as the industry. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as well. And we will see you back very soon. Thank you so much and stay safe.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hiral. Yes,